Albanese has called a jobs summit, which will be held in September. This is a very strange thing to do. You'd think if any party understood how to create jobs, it'd be the Labor Party. Amanda, what is Anthony Albanese's strategy here?
Well, look, I'd first disagree with that. I'd say the coalition knows better than anybody else how to unlock the power of the private sector to surge forward in a way that creates jobs. And we did that well over several terms of government. We may have had flaws, but that was one of our great strengths. But if you're a student of history, you'll think back to the Kevin Rudd era. He went into an election pretending to be somebody of the centre-right, pretending there was no difference between what he had to offer and what the Howard government had to offer. And then as soon as he got in, he held his summit, and the summit was all about getting onto the agenda all of those more radical ideas that he couldn't possibly put before the electorate at an election because they would have slammed him for it. Well, Mr. Albanese's done the same thing. He's gone to an election offering very little that he could be criticised for on the ideological left. He's been smart about that because he knows Australians don't like radical lefties. But if you hold a summit and the experts tell you that you need to have these hard radical ideas, well, then you've got licence to put it into your agenda. That's the real risk, I would suggest, comes out of this job summit. It's a cloak for the Albanese government to sneak in a whole lot of re-regulation of the economy, the introduction of much more powerful unions, and no doubt many other measures that would greatly have scared the horses had they been put before Australians before an election.
Well, Amanda, we could create a lot more jobs simply by building coal-fired power stations. This would also reduce the cost of living, don't you think?
Look, I think that is a sensible thing to do. If we could take away a lot of the institutional disincentives that exist to investing in coal-fired power, we could not just make energy more affordable, but in doing so, we could make life easier for small business. We could help to tackle inflation, which we know many people are struggling with. And if you pair that with, for instance, bringing back the Australian Building and Construction Commission, you could help to keep construction more productive, keep the cost of housing and construction under control. These levers would all make a really big difference to the ability of Australians to be able to get on with their lives.